Max here, or Malika, and welcome to this week's vlog. I am going to be telling you guys the story of how my boyfriend and I got together and met and got together, and it's been a question that a lot of people have been asking me, and a lot of people have been somebody mentioned it on Twitter and said, how did you and your boyfriend meet? And yeah, it was a suggestion that somebody asked to hear about, and so here it is. So my boyfriend's name is Zach, and we have a lot of mutual friends. We're from the same social group in our city, and we have many friends in common, and we're also from the same music scene. So there used to be a really good music scene in my city, and my city's not that big, so it's really easy for people to know each other or know each other through other people or have a lot of mutual friends. And I used to hang out with his younger brother, and at the time my group of friends, and he dated his ex-girlfriend. One of his ex-girlfriends is somebody that I knew in high school, and it just, things like that. So like, we kind of always knew of each other's existence. He said he heard my name around from other people. Like, I knew one of his really good friends since I was really young, and I was good friends with one of his other friends in high school, and just things like that. So we kind of knew of each other's existence, but we never really met. And he used to play in a band that I really liked. One of his band members was a friend of mine, and there was one show that I went to. I think it was like it was the second time I ever saw him play, and like he was the main vocalist, he was a screamer. So I ended up when they were like setting their things or getting their things ready to take off stage and stuff, they were moving their stuff to their van or whatever. I asked my buddy, I said, who's your vocalist, your main vocalist? Like, he's really good. And my buddy was like, oh, that's Zach. Hey, Zach, come here. And I guess Zach's back was turned, and I saw him, and as he was turning around, I disappeared into the crowd, because I was like 17 or 8. No, I was 16 or 17 at the time. Pretty sure I was 17. I had a boyfriend at the time. He had a girlfriend. I was like, nope. I'm a very awkward person. If you guys can tell, like, I have a hard time sometimes talking in general in my videos, if you guys haven't noticed. So that, like, back when I was 17, I had a hard time talking to people that I didn't know. I was always really timid. I didn't really, like, introduce myself. Like, I had a lot of friends, and, like, I was good at socializing within people that I knew. Meeting new people was always, like, really weird for me, and meeting new people in person was really weird for me as well. So it was awkward, and so I disappeared, and I went to the bathroom and had a hyperventilating fit, and I avoided that whole group for the remainder of the show when the other bands were playing. And like, I don't know, it's just kind of funny that way. But anyways, and then I knew, like I said, I used to hang out with his brother around the same time in like just a group of our friends, and like I said, I always heard his name in passing. I found out that he had an older brother and stuff and I was like, oh, that's him, blah blah blah. But we never really talked, we never met, we never talked, whatever. We actually found out later that we went to the same parties, a couple of the same parties when we were there with each other, and he was my friend's ex-boyfriend, and he used to have parties at his humongous awesome garage, and we didn't meet, but we were at the same party. And I remember talking to his buddies, and he remembers his friends' ex-girlfriends' friends that were there, and yeah, I was one of them. He's like, wow, it's whatever. So things like that happened. Always so awkward, but not awkward, but just always so weird when I think back to that kind of stuff. And but yeah, and then fast forward to, I should mention, he added me on Facebook, and we kind of pieced little things together, but I never like let on that like I really knew who he was. He was just like, yeah, like, I know you through this person, and I know who you are, and I'm like, yeah, I used to hang out with your brother. So yeah, so then like fast forward to about a year and a half or so or more later, when I was pretty sick. This was like 2012, no, 2013. I was very, very sick, and I mentioned that in other videos. And he commented on something, and then he messaged me on via Facebook and being like, hey, how's it going? And we just kind of like talked, just like, oh, I'm really sick right now. And he's like, yeah, I've been seeing your posts, and we just talked about that. And he was really genuine. He came off really nice and really genuine and, concerned. And he's like, I hope you feel better. And then we kind of just like talked back and forth through there. And it was like the end of August, the end of September-ish. And we just started talking more and more, and he slipped in his number in one of the conversations, and we texted. And then around, I don't know, we made plans to hang out, but I was way too sick. And then after that, we never really talked a whole lot. And like his cell phone stopped working, and so we just kind of lost contact. And then fast forward to the end of January, and I was kind of seeing somebody at the time, but that didn't work out because he ended up just like, it just never, things just didn't really work out and stuff. So I was kind of like at that point where I was just like, whatever, like screw dating. I don't really care. Like, I'm just gonna, have fun. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm not as sick anymore. Like, I was starting to like, hang out with my friends and go out and stuff. And it was awesome. It was fun. And I don't know, like, I noticed on Facebook, and at the time, because I was starting to feel better, I was able to start, like, being able to, like, sit at my computer and play games again, and I was wanting to get into World of Warcraft, because if you guys know that I do play that game, I enjoy it, and when I have time to play it and stuff, so I wanted to get some new time, and I wanted to get into it before the new expansion came out later that year, and this was, like, in January, so it was 2014 at this point, and I don't know, he posted this picture on Facebook. I guess he had started playing again, and I was like, oh my god, you're making me want to play. And not even 5 seconds later, he messages me and was like, you should start playing again, like, we could play together, like, get some time, and, like, we can play, like, install the games on your computer, blah, blah, blah. So he talked me into it, not even a day later, probably a day later, the next night, I ended up taking a picture of the game, my CDs at the time, because I had a couple of the CDs, and he commented, and then again, conversation started, and within, like, that week, like, we talked a lot, we were talking nonstop, and I finally was just like, hey, like, we should hang out, and we were supposed to hang out, but plans fell through, and I got a weird message from his ex-girlfriend at the time, being like, yeah, he's sleeping right now, and, do you want me to wake him up? And I'm like, kind of weirded out, and being like, no, like, it's fine, just let him sleep, blah, blah, blah. And then that was towards the end of January, and then that was the beginning of February, and then we ended up hanging out, and, we finally ended up hanging out, and, like, we went to the mall, and thank goodness he was, like, nervously rambling nonstop, because it was awesome, because he provided all the conversation, and I didn't have to worry about it. But, I talked right at the, like, we talked, we got to, like, know each other a little bit, we went for coffee, and then on the way home, we were waiting for the bus, and it was freezing, and it was, like, we ended up waiting for, like, honestly, 25 minutes, because it was a Sunday bus schedule, and, he ended up, in that 25 minutes, like, it was kind of awkward, but, like, he ended up mentioning that, like, about the whole event with his ex-girlfriend, and he's like, yeah, I just want to let you know, like, nothing's going on between us, we're not together, we're not, we're just friends. And I'm like, oh, I remember when me and my boyfriend your ex-boyfriend were just friends, right? Like, and he's like, no, like, I promise you, like, there's nothing going on. I'm like, oh, okay, I just want to let you know, like, I did go to high school with her, like, she's okay, she's cool. And he's just kind of like, yeah, she mentioned that, we were talking about you. I'm like, oh. Again, weirded out by that fact. I was like, oh, cool, whatever, just played it off. And then on the bus ride home, he gave me a hug, and I wasn't expecting it, so, like, I barely was able to hug him back. It was literally like, oh, pat on the back. And then he got off the bus, and I was just like kind of confused, and I'm just sitting there like smiling like a buffoon to myself. And this gentleman who was sitting across from us was like, he likes you, right? And I just kind of like laughed. I was like, kind of just like probably lit up like a freaking rose, like just so red. And then, so the next couple days, like, we talked, yada yada, back and forth, and I asked him, do you want to go to the movies one night? And we did. So we went to the movies. That was fun. He didn't grab my hand. He didn't kiss me. Blah blah blah. So I was starting to think maybe like, you know, maybe we're just gonna be friends. Like maybe he's not interested. And he shared this little fact about like how when he's drunk, he kind of like, and he has feelings for somebody, he kind of like speaks too soon. And I'm like, oh, well, you're not the only one that's not PG when you're drinking. So. And this was like about a week before it was like the same week as Valentine's Day. Like Valentine's Day was a week from this day that we went to the movies. And he's like, I was like, oh, so are you doing your Valentine's Day? He's like, no, I don't have anything planned. I work that night. When I get home, do you want to Skype and just like play video games? And I was like, sounds like a plan. So a couple of days later, the night before Valentine's Day, I'm like, yo, do you still want to do that? And he's like, yep. He gets home from work that night. And I guess he starts drinking. And he's like, so what are you doing? Because I still was kind of sick and wasn't feeling good. I was just like, oh, I'm just laying in bed, like, hugging my pillow, like, and watching TV. And he's like, oh, I'm jealous of that pillow. And, like, me being me, even then, I'm still kind of clueless when it comes to shit like that. I'm like, oh, LOL, what? Like, okay. And then he's like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna tell you, like, you know, I think you're really cute, and you should come over tomorrow after work, and I'll cook you some dinner, and, you know, I can walk you home, or you can spend the night if you like. And I was just like, you what, mate? Like, you know, like one of those things like, huh? ... what? And he was just like, yeah, like, I told you this is how I get when I'm drunk, and I was really, like, I was just so confused, but so happy, because I'm not the kind of person, like, I fear rejection, like, really badly, and I know it's, like, what's the worst that could happen? Someone can just say no, and you can move on with your life, but, like, I get really scared, and, like, I'm the kind of person that'll show you, like, I'll grab your hand, or I will kiss you if I like you, or I'll wait till I'm drunk and spill the beans, but I'm not, like, you know, I'm not the kind of person that will straight up being like, yeah, I have feelings for you, what are we gonna do about this? And, like, because I'm afraid, like, I've done that before, and I've gotten rejected, and it's not fun, like, it's, like I said, one of my biggest fears. So, we ended up, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that you were the one that said it, like, otherwise, no, you would never have known that I actually do have feelings for you. Because at that point, I was like, yeah, I do like him, he's cute, he's nice, he's charming, you know, he's charismatic, and he's interested in a lot of the same things that I'm in. We know so many of the same people. Like, how can this not, like, happen? Just grow some balls and do it, Malika. But, of course, he did it. He beat me to the punch. And, so the next day went by, and I went to his house. He showed me around. He introduced me to his roommate, and, like, we started, like, we had a couple drinks, and, like, we were just, like, sitting there talking, and he, like, I don't know, he kept, like, he pulled me onto the bed, and, like, he, like, kind of had his arm around me, and he just, like, we kept, like, kind of, like, pecking me on the cheek, being, like, kind of cute, and, like, I was getting annoyed, though, because his roommate was trying to have a conversation. I guess he kind of realized, like, okay, I probably should stop cock-blocking them. So he, like, left the room, and he kind of, like, Zach, like, he kind of went to kiss me, and then instead of, like, him kissing my cheek again, I just finally was like, hey, fuck, like, so I turned around and gave him a kiss. And, it was like, oh, that's how we had our first kiss, and he was like, I'm so sorry, like, I hope you don't hate me, I hope that wasn't too, like, forward, and it was the cutest thing watching him, like, apologize for kissing me, and I was just like, shut up and kiss me, like, just shut the fuck up. And so we started kissing, and, like, it was just, you know, like, I ended up spending the night that night, and it was really fun, and, like, he was just really, like, you know, really courtly, and it was really cute how, like, he just kind of, like, acted, and I was like, fuck, man, like, he's like winning my heart, like, what the fuck is this? And because, like, for the longest time before that, I was a really cold-hearted, after my ex, like, I became a really cold-hearted bitch. You can ask any of my friends at the time. I was really, I wouldn't say mean, I just wasn't, like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I dated a couple of guys, I just didn't really give a fuck, though. Like, honestly, it was really hard for me to find somebody that I could, like, be around and not, like, get annoyed at, or be around and just feel okay and like myself. And I got like that with him because, like, my ex was my best friend, and I had a lot of, like, we talked, like, he was my companion, I guess, like, my ex, and, like, it was really hard losing him. So when I met Zach, and I found, like, that, not the same qualities at all by any means, but, like, a lot of the same, like, feelings that I had of comfortability around him, and it was just really interesting and really nice, and, like, I loved it. I loved being around him. He was fun, and, like, as time went on, like, his birthday came around, and that was a lot of fun, and, like, a lot of his buddies that I knew showed up, and they were, like, weird, and, like, because not very many people knew. Like, my best friend, couple of my best friends knew, and, like, couple of his really close friends knew, and his brother, and, like, that was it. And, like, when his birthday rolled around, it was really nice to see some of his friends that I had known. It was really nice to see his brother, and I hadn't seen him in a really long time. Like, it was just like, hey, like, how's it going? Like, and stuff, and people were like, oh my god, like, that's so cool. But I met a lot of his I met, like, his new friends, I met, stuff like that, and it was just a really fun time. And shortly after that, like, we just, like, we kept hanging out, we kept seeing each other, like, he kept bringing me pizza subs when I was drinking at his place, things like that. And it was just a fun time, and people were starting to find out, and, like, his really good friend was like, so are you and Malika, like, hooking up or not, or what's going on? And like, Zach at the time was like, well, we're seeing each other. And then people just started asking, like, well, when are you guys gonna make it official? It's becoming more obvious. Just make it official already. Come on, guys, you're cute. Like, do something about this. And we kind of, like, hesitated. And, like, he ended up telling me, like, I don't know if you want to be in a relationship because you mentioned that you've been hurt before and you're really nervous about it, and it's been a long time. And I kind of just said, like, look, like, we've been seeing each other for almost 2 months, because it was around March at this point. Like, it was a couple days before you even asked me out, and I just said, like, look, like, I don't know, I don't think I'll say no unless you do something in the next couple days that makes me not want to date you. But I pretty much said, yeah, like, just ask, whenever you ask, like, whenever you're ready to ask me. So, because of a clusterfuck of things that were going on at the time, like, we were talking on the phone, I brought it up, I said, like, I was asked, like, 3 times today if we were together. And he was just, like, mentioned, he's like, yeah, same, actually. And then he's like, well, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I said, yeah, let's do this. And so, it's not official until we post it on Facebook, right? So we posted on Facebook, and it was March 24th that he asked me to be his girlfriend. And March 24th, 2014. And, like, we ended up announcing it, and so many people were like, oh my god, you guys are together, I didn't see that one coming, that's so weird, that is so cute. We had, like, a whole bunch of different responses, and I've even had people being like, that's never gonna work out. And I had someone who I was really close with at the time, who was a good friend of Zach's, say, I don't think we can talk anymore, and that's because he had a thing for me, but I never reciprocated those feelings ever. And apparently Zach knew about it, and, like, just, and it was just stupid. And I said, you know what, if you're gonna stop talking to me because of that, stop talking to me. That's not, that's on you, that's not on me, buddy. Even though me and him, like, are not friends at all anymore. But not because of that reason, just, he got over it eventually and stuff. But yeah, no, like, and since then, like, we've been together, and so we started dating in March, and about 6 months later, I knew I was in love with him. I was laying in a hospital bed, and he had told me that, like, previously, that when he saw me earlier that day, that, like, yeah, I promise that I'll protect you however long I can, and I love you. And, like, it didn't hit me until, like, we got off the phone that night, and I was laying in the bed alone. Nobody was in the room, nothing. And I was like, oh my god, like, I'm in love. I'm in love. And, like, I've been in love before, and, like, just, if you've ever been in love, you just know, like, that feeling that you get, like, that intense, like, attachment, or that intense, like, bond you feel with another person. And, like, we'd been saying, like, I love you for maybe 2 months, and I knew I loved him, but, like, not, like, it was like, whoa, like a wave crashing down on me, like, holy fuck, like, I'm in love with him. And it was scary and amazing all at the same time, because it had been almost 2 years since I'd been in love with somebody, and, like, it was intense. It was really amazing and intense, and, like, I told him, I was like, yo, like, I love you. And I really do love you. And so, like, things just kind of happened from there. Like, like, we've had a lot of really fucked up, crazy moments, bad, really amazing, lovely moments that are good. He's been super sweet to me and super shitty to me. I've been super sweet to him, super shitty to him at certain times, and because, that's relationship. Like, no relationship is perfect. No relationship has 0 fights. I think you're a fucking weirdo if you and your boyfriend have never fought at least once. Sure, we barely ever fight that's common for some people. But, like, if you're telling me, no, my boyfriend and I never fight, you're fucking weird. And you're keeping a lot of fucking resentment. And it's because, you know, you don't love somebody without despising them a little bit, in my opinion. Like, there's things I hate about my boyfriend. There's things I hate about him. There's things that he hates about me. There's things that drive him crazy that I do. There's things that he does that drive me fucking insane. But, you know, and we've broken up a couple times, not for any long periods of time, but, you know, there's been times when we've almost called it quits. There's been times when we probably should have called it quits for the things that we did to each other, but we didn't. And we just, you know, I always say to him, like, it's not everybody else, it's you and it's me, and we love each other, and as long as we love each other, we'll figure it out. You know, sometimes people say love isn't enough, and, like, there's times when, you know, maybe I've thought about that, like, you know, maybe love isn't enough between us, but as long as we're both willing to, like, fight for each other and put, you know, an equal amount of love and attention and communication in, we make it work. And there's been times when we haven't communicated at all because, one, we're too scared that we're going to upset each other, or we don't know how to tell each other certain things because of just our pride, or not wanting to be embarrassed, or just not wanting to fight about it. But it, you know, we always try to make it work. And he said something to me actually not that long ago that really, like settled with me, and it's, you know, it's something I think about a lot whenever we argue. It's like, I'll fight with you over and over again if that means that we're together for however long we want to be together for. And, like, that really meant a lot when he said that. And, you know, we've had fights since he said that, and, like, I always have to remind myself that, like when I'm like, is this, like, does he even want to be with me, or is this even worth it? Like, does he really want this? Like, I have to remind myself of that. Like, it's like, yes, because if he didn't, he'd leave. And if I didn't want this, if I really didn't want it, I'd fuck off. And we both know that about each other. So it really means a lot. So yeah, we've been together for like 2 years now. Almost, well, we'll be together for 3 years next March. So wow, I can't even speak. 2.5 years that we've been together, and it's been a really crazy ride. And I'm, like, I love him. I love him to pieces. And, you know, people have tried splitting us up. Like, I've lost friends because of that. A couple of my best friends and I don't even, best friends, and I don't even speak anymore because of, you know, things that have gone on. And, those who are my friends have stuck by me and throughout the craziness, and have guided me and helped me with, you know, advice and just being there for me when I needed to vent, because fucking Lord knows that everybody needs to vent about their relationships sometimes. So yeah, I really appreciate it. If anybody who's watching who's stuck by me through this fucking crazy ride, you know, I really appreciate it, and I just hope that, you know, this ride keeps going, and, you know, I love him, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. My boyfriend and I having met. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you guys so much for all the support. I really appreciate it, and it means so much to me that you guys have been supporting me and liking my videos and my channel. And yeah, so I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you're in the world. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and check out my channel and like and subscribe if you do want to see more. Bye guys, see you later.